Hey guys, this is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Wednesday the 9th of October 2019. Time is 10:01 here in the UK. You're looking at a Euro AUD daily chart. So let's get started with the analysis. Hey guys. First of all, just a quick announcement. Tomorrow's webinar is going to be at, I believe, 7:30 a.m. is what I'm going to set it at. So that's kind of early for webinars. It's 2.5 hours earlier than right now, which is 10 a.m. I'm heading down to London tomorrow for something, so I need to get the webinar done early before I leave. So the webinar will be early. And the other announcement is we're taking about 20 to 30 new members into the chat room. The chat room is a beta project that we've been running. It's a live day trading chat room. It's been going really well, so we're looking to expand it a little bit, get some more people in for further testing. We're switching the chat room software to a better piece of software for the purpose. This is the room now. It's starting on sometime early next week. We're going to be adding all the new members. To join, simply send me an email and I will add you to the list. There's around about 20 spots already taken. I'm thinking about taking 10 more people, so spots are limited. The only requirement is that you're a full Forex Mastermind member. So that means Forex Mastermind complete. That means you have access to all 3 of the courses in Forex Mastermind. That's the only requirement. So yeah, if you want to join, please send me an email and I'll add you to the list. Right, let's get into the analysis, guys. Right off the bat, my USD NOK trade failed. It's a shame. It was going really well on Friday. Then on Sunday, the market opened and it just shot up. So yeah, it's a shame, but what can you do? Euro AUD, to those of you who are short, it's not really doing much. It's just moving sideways. You have about 2 options here. Close out at break even or with a little bit of profit depending on your entry, or leave it open. Honestly, I'd probably close it out at break even. The way it's moving, it's just moving sideways. I don't really see much point in keeping it open, personally. That's if I was in it. It's up to you what you decide to do. EURUSD, for some of you this hit target because you had a tighter target. For some of you it's still open and it's turned around. If you're still in it, I would probably say to leave this one open because it is in a nice bit of profit right now. And this pullback's not huge. Yeah, I'd probably leave EURUSD open. CAD JPY, this one would have hit target for sure had you got in. So this one can go. It dropped down a lot yesterday. This one was like a low time frame trade. I don't think many people entered this one, but I know some did. So right, so EURUSD didn't enter EURUSD yet. Probably a good thing because it is pulling back. So I'm still keeping an eye on it though for a potential short here. USD CAD, I haven't entered this one yet either. Still keeping an eye for a potential short. I'm kind of interested in this one, but at the same time, it's just a tough one to enter because of how the lower wicks are lining up on those candles. So I'm kind of interested in it, but at the same time, yeah, I don't really see a viable entry. The only thing you could really do is enter this one right now. And I can't remember why we have this one here. I think this one was shared by someone who was in it. So I think it should be a green mark, or maybe I'm mixing things up. But anyway, you could in theory enter here if you wanted to. But yeah, it's a risky entry. It's a risky setup altogether, to be honest. It's a risky setup altogether. But I explained this in enough detail yesterday where I don't want to jump into explaining everything about USD CAD again. It's a risky setup, but there is potential to enter if you want to. CHF-JPY, this one's off the table. We were looking at it yesterday as a potential, but it's, yeah, completely off the table today. GBPAUD, off the table. GBP New Zealand still has some potential. So we'll come back to this towards the end of the analysis where I do the wrap up. I forgot to check out the news. Let's quickly take a look at the news, guys. We kind of covered the news yesterday, but let's just go over it real quick again. Crude oil inventories are coming out in about 5.5 hours. I'm not too worried about those. Fed Chairman Powell is speaking shortly after that. Which is potentially going to affect the market because the audience questions are expected. So this one will potentially affect the market, and this one has a potential to affect the market. So 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. today, those are the big ones for today. Then tomorrow we have the GDP out of the UK, which is, yeah, generally can affect the market, especially on lower time frames. But we'll talk about that in tomorrow's analysis since it's going to be an early one tomorrow. Right. Why CHF-JPY off the table? Because it was a risky setup to begin with in terms of the risk to reward ratio was not great, and now it's made a new high, so the risk to reward ratio is even worse. Technically speaking, you could potentially base it off of this candle now, depending on how this candle closes. But it's just a bad risk to reward ratio. It was a bad risk to reward ratio to start with. And it hasn't really changed much. If we were to trade this candle here, imagining that this candle at the end of today closes exactly as it is now, or maybe with a smaller body. So the stop loss would go here, the entry would go here. It's still a bad risk to reward ratio. You got stopped out of CHF-JPY. I don't know why it's not loading. Will not what affect the market. TradingView can be pretty weird sometimes. I guess you probably entered on the 8-hour. Yeah, I'm guessing you entered on a lower time frame then. Morning, Mark and Catherine. Oh, did I miss the Eurogroup meeting? Sorry, I mentioned that yesterday. I must have overlooked it today. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I overlooked it because the little green arrow was pointing here. So usually I only look at stuff after that little green arrow because all the other stuff has passed. But obviously this is an all-day event, so yeah, I overlooked that. Obviously, as I said yesterday, Eurogroup meetings have an impact on the market, especially around about lunchtime when they take their lunch break. They tend to go out and talk to reporters, and you can sometimes see spikes around that time. I don't know what's going on with the Eurogroup meetings. I actually haven't read much about them. The news cycle has been completely dominated by Trump. So I'm just trying to look up the Eurogroup meetings real quick. I want to see what's on the agenda. Yeah, there's just not much news on it. Yeah, okay, I can't find much news on it, guys. But yeah, just assume that the markets could be moved by this. The EU is ready to make major concessions on Brexit deal by providing a mechanism for Northern Irish Assembly. Interesting. Anyway, guys, let's not get too ramped up in the news. Obviously, Eurogroup meetings can impact things, so let's just be wary of that. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I'm sorry I missed it, guys. Oof. Since the start of the Eurogroup meetings. I believe they started around 9 a.m. But especially here. Yeah, USD JPY seems to be moving a bit. Anyway, we're a bit off track here, guys. Not much in the way of setups today. At least not on the larger time frames. Am I missing any new setups, guys, that you have spotted? Because I'm not really spotting much right now. Euro's just been moving sideways for a little while. I don't see anything on USD SGD. There's an active short trade there, but that was from last week. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's that much going on. Euro USD still looking for a short here, maybe, but it's looking worse and worse as time goes on. USDCAD. I went over this trade in detail yesterday, guys. I'm not that interested in it. I'll leave that one up to you guys if you want to enter. GBP New Zealand looks somewhat interesting as price is stalling out here, but with the Eurogroup meetings today, I would say it's pretty risky to trade GBP. It's pretty risky to trade GBP in general at the moment. I think everything is kind of risky at the moment, to be completely honest, with this Trump impeachment inquiry. Then we have Brexit. It's getting a bit politically, things are heating up a little bit, and whenever that happens, it can cause swings in the market that surprise you, and often those surprises are bad for you. So it's a bit of a dangerous time to be in trades until some of this stuff subsides. That doesn't mean you can't trade. Of course, that doesn't mean you can't trade. It just means things can change direction without much notice or without any notice. And it also means a lot of the times that the big boy traders, they stay out of the market. And generally that just leads to kind of slow moving markets or sideways moving markets. Like we're seeing sort of in EURUSD at the moment. But yeah, I'm not seeing much in the way of setups, guys, other than the ones I've marked here. Hopefully that's going to change in tomorrow's analysis. We'll be doing an analysis session tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. UK time, as I mentioned. So hopefully some things have changed and we see a little bit more action around then. Are there any questions, guys? Oh, nice. I'm glad you found that. A lot of work went into writing that guide. I'm glad it's of use. George was the main writer for that piece, or the main researcher. Putting everything together, got all the images sorted out. Along with Liz, or Annalise, my partner, she did a lot of work for it too. Yeah, it's ridiculous. TradingView don't have a guide, so I had to write one for them. They didn't ask me to. I had no contact with them about the guide. It's just I got so many questions because I use TradingView so much, and people see me as some sort of TradingView guru. I get so many questions about it that I thought, okay, well, it's time that I get a guide together for TradingView, because the incompetent TradingView team, I probably shouldn't say this because they might ban me from TradingView. The incompetent TradingView team cannot even put a guide together for their own software. It's ridiculous. And their support is abysmal. I love TradingView as a platform for charting. It is by far the best platform that exists today. I've had all kinds of charting platforms, some that I've paid over $300 per month for, US dollars. And I've never found anything that's as good as TradingView. But their support sucks. It really does. And their docs or documents, I don't know what else, their help documents are horrible. Horrible to the point of almost being non-existent. But there are some things on their TradingView wiki, but it's just horrible. So yeah, I'm glad you liked the TradingView guide. For those of you who don't know what it is, here is a link. The plan right now is to update it twice a year. So it's updated twice yearly. There you go. Metastock. Honestly, never used Metastock. I used MetaTrader. Probably free, I imagine. MetaTrader free. Then I switched to the GFT proprietary platform. GFT, I think, or GFX. GFT was my broker back then. Let me look it up. Yeah, Global Forex Trading. That was them. They had their own platform, which had 8-hour charts, which no other platform had at the time. At least none that I knew of. So I switched to them and I started trading 8-hour charts. This was in about 2007, I believe. I used them for years and years. I can't remember what I think. I switched to CTrader after that. CTrader. They still exist. They're pretty good as a platform. Viet uses CTrader. I switched to CTrader. CTrader was decent, but their mobile app was horrible. Their mobile app was like... Their PC app was fantastic. It had almost all the time frames that I trade. But the mobile app only had, I think, 4-hour and daily in terms of the time frames I trade. It was so weird why they wouldn't include all the time frames on their mobile app. I don't know if they still do. But I've almost never used MT4, MT5. I'll use it here and there just to enter trades. But for charting, my charting platform has almost always been separate to my trading platform anyway. I just don't feel it's necessary for traders to enter trades on the same platform that they have their charts on. In fact, it's, generally speaking, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're forcing yourself to use an inferior charting platform just because you want the comfort of taking a trade from that platform. You're just limiting yourself, is how I see it. Charting platforms and trading platforms are two separate things. And when you try to combine them into one, you're going to make sacrifices. It's just like anything that gets combined. It's like a houseboat. It's not really a boat. It's not really a house. It's a combined thing. It's not as good as having a real house. Not as good as having a real boat. I know this is a stupid example, but it's the only thing I can think of right now. I didn't get much sleep, so I'm pretty tired. So my brain's not working at full capacity. But having a charting platform that's also a trading platform, you're making sacrifices. Even with TradingView, TradingView is a fantastic charting platform, but its trading options are very, very limited. Like the buy and sell panel here. I do love that they're getting more brokers set up though. Now you can get Saxo, Forex.com. But yeah, the actual trading side of things with TradingView is not that fantastic. It's been getting better, but it's still pretty basic. I do love that you can set your risk as a percentage though. That's just so good. I'd love to actually be able to take trades from here, even though their trading features are not the best. Just the fact that I can enter in a percentage which means I don't have to use a risk calculator. It just makes it so much more efficient to trade, especially when you're trading from mobile. You just stick in a percentage, boom, done. You could technically do that with this tool, but you have to put in your exact account size every time. It's still a bit tedious, whereas if you could take the trade from here, it would be great. Yeah, I used Pro Real Time for a little bit. I also used, I can't remember the name now. Pro Real Time was good, but there was problems with Pro Real Time. I can't remember the exact issues I had with Pro Real Time. I think it was around the open of candles. I don't think you could change the open time of candles at the time I used it. This was like 5 years ago. So I would not get New York open candles like I have here on TradingView, which meant I would have 6 candles, 6 daily candles during a week. I would have the Sunday candle, which isn't a true daily candle. So that was pretty annoying, and it made Pro Real Time pretty much unusable because I was getting... Yeah, Colin, it's because it's not built into MetaTrader and everyone uses MetaTrader. If it was a built-in function of MetaTrader, it'd be pretty handy. What was the other platform? There was this one that for like a year I was paying $300 a month for. It wasn't Pro Real Time though. Pro Real Time was kind of expensive, but not that expensive. eSignal, I think. Yeah, I think it's these guys. I think it's these guys. Yeah, there we go. $342 a month. Their pricing hasn't really changed. And their mobile platform was atrocious at the time. Sierra charts. I don't think I've ever heard of them. Judging by their website, I already have a negative opinion of them because they look like they're stuck in the 1990s. I have little respect for any company that can't update its website and make it modern. But okay, let's look past that. The platform itself looks like it's stuck in the 1990s. Yeah, this platform looks like a dinosaur. I bet it doesn't have the features of modern trading platforms, simply because it looks like it's rarely updated. I'd have to look into it properly. Current version 1997. I know it was released October 7th, 2019, but it looks like it was released in 1997. Is this website built on tables? Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Oh no, they've actually built it on divs. Okay. So it's probably been updated sometime in the early 2000s. No, probably after 2010. At least there's that. Look how user-friendly this website is. Well, they have a reward risk drawing tool. I'd like to see how that works. But you are right, they do have a lot of features. But it's a piece of software, right? Immediately, I have issue with that because a piece of software limits you to only being able to use it on one device. And these days, most people have multiple devices with multiple operating systems. So we're talking a Windows or a Mac PC for most people, maybe a Linux system for some. Then you got an Android or an iPhone, or maybe a Windows phone for some. The beauty of HTML5 based platforms is that with a HTML5 based platform, so it's all within a browser, you can access it on any device. You can even access this on like a first generation iPhone, probably. And it's essentially operating system. It doesn't matter what operating system you're accessing it from. It's going to work. I think all trading platforms these days should be built in HTML5. They shouldn't be a piece of software. Because the thing is, like, let's say I have an Android phone. Let's say I'm in a bunch of trades. This is just an example, and my phone dies. My friend has an iPhone. I say, hey, can I please borrow your iPhone? I need to check on my trades. And I don't have to go to the App Store, download any software onto his phone. I could do that because they do have an app, but I could also just go into the browser on my friend's iPhone, log in. As long as I know my login, I can check all my charts, no problems. And not having the ability to do that because you're using something like Sierra Chart, which I'm not 100% sure if they don't have a mobile feature, but I don't think they do. Maybe they do. But even then, you'd obviously have to download the mobile platform. They might have a mobile platform. Doesn't mention the word mobile at all. They have a search function. I don't think they have. Or maybe. Yeah, it's Windows only. Yeah, see what I mean? It's like so much in the trading industry, they're not embracing modern technology, modern web technology. They're not embracing it and realizing how far forward it can move trading and how accessible it can make trading and how simple it can make trading for the average user, the average trader. They are all stuck in this 20-year-old mindset. And it's just sad. It just makes trading very, very difficult. But anyway, that's enough of me ranting about charting platforms. Are there any other questions, guys? This webinar has gone on ages, and I think a good 20 minutes of it has not actually been discussing charts and setups. All right, it doesn't look like there's any other questions, so I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. Thank you for attending. I'll see you guys for tomorrow's analysis at 7:30 a.m. UK time. And yeah, thanks, guys, and I'll see you all later.